right. All right. We're live on Insta and then almost on LinkedIn. 3/4 of the way there. All right. I'm not sick, but my shoes are. That's the phrase behind this episode. That's what actually I started seeing because my buddy Andy here that we're going to be talking with, I started seeing these shirts, these like fun, colorful, neon styled apparel start showing up. Project Outrun. What is that? I didn't even know what it was, and all of a sudden here we are talking about it, and I've. Andy is a middle school parent with 3 kids. I'm a middle school parent with 4 kids. And guess what? We're busy. We run the show in our companies. We're juggling a lot of things. And I'm actually also participating in what they call a podcast-a-thon. And it's a global effort where podcasters feature nonprofits to help more people learn about what they do. And I thought of no better person or organization to do than Andy and Project Outrun. This is episode 80, or so, this is episode 92 of Driven for Health. And welcome, Andy Shepard of Project Outrun to the show.
No, happy to be here. I don't think there's a more relevant space than a podcast-a-thon for a running-based organization to take part in. I'm hoping there's going to be a medal of some sort at the end, potentially, because
yes,
I do most things. I like an incentive. No, I'm happy to be here. Excited to share the story. I love that you started seeing the shirts around town, and our kids happen to go to school together, and we made the connection.
Yep.
And I've been on many runs ourselves too, but I'm happy to join you and communicate the power of the project and what we're building in our community.
Yes, and that's what even got this fostering the relationship. The whole reason why I got Driven for Health is focusing on men in their 40s because we've got a lot. We're very busy, both you and I, right?
I'm in my 40s. I'm in my 40s. No, I am in my 40s. That's the way.
I hope so, right?
For some reason, but I am in my 40s. No, I'm 45. 45. Yeah, still doing.
Yes. This guy is young at heart, man. You would take him for like a 23-year-old, just living the energy that he carries. It's amazing. And so, what you've got 3 kids, one's young, and so we're carving out time in our schedules to go run. We both really enjoy running, and if you've listened to any of these episodes, I've talked about my 4 amigos. So Andy's one of them, and here he is. So we run together and talk about life and work and different important things, and it's an easy way to collaborate, to share, to inspire, to vent, to be able to clear the air so that we can show up ready, willing, and able to handle all the things that are happening in our world. So let's jump into Project Outrun. What is it? Tell me about it. Tell everyone here. I mean, I know what it is, but tell everyone listening in.
Absolutely. Such an open-ended question. I could go on for forever, but let me tell you the origin story of Project Outrun.
Yes.
So as you previously said, I'm a huge runner. I'm a huge sneakerhead. And almost 9 years ago now, I ran a little girl's 5K in the community whose name is Kylie Rose Jacobs, and she had a 5K. And when I went to that 5K, when you have children, all children kind of become your children. You empathize, you understand, and you kind of want to just take them all in. And I looked at Kylie like she was my own. And I thought, what would I do if it were my son battling pediatric cancer? Well, being a huge runner and a huge sneakerhead, I would make them shoes to make them feel fast, powerful, and strong. Because I don't care if you're like 6 or 60, you get new shoes, you just feel a little faster. It's science.
Shoes.
Science,
yes,
science,
it is. Right? It is very much science.
We
love
really
shoes.
We really
inspire me.
Yeah, I mean, you lace up, you have a different perspective, and we really do believe that mindset and movement are medicine. It's something that we believe in our house. And I thought, if my son were fighting pediatric cancer, I would make them shoes to make them feel fast, powerful, and strong, and use that metaphor of the run and the recovery road to help empower them along the way. So Kylie was having a very serious surgery in Cincinnati. Every time I say that phrase, it's such an alliteration, like serious surgery in Cincinnati.
Right.
But But I knew that that was the moment where I should hop on that Nike by You builder and design her some custom kicks. So I went on that builder and I built her these. These are the Kylie Rose ones. They match her 5K colors and logo. She lets me borrow them to show people like you guys on this podcast. I put K Rose 5K on the tongue, and I had zero idea how to tell a family that I barely knew that I designed their daughter's shoes, because it's kind of an odd thing to do.
Yeah.
So I remember sitting outside in the parking lot that is my office now, trying to formulate an idea of how do I present this gift to this family so that it's relevant and it makes sense. And so the first thing that came to my mind was to text them that we were huge fans of Kylie, and when she outruns cancer, she has to have the right shoes. Now,
yes,
her dad Eric's response to me was about 15 seconds later, but it felt like 15 years, because when you put yourself out there and you're vulnerable in a place, in a space like this, it's terrifying, right? Vulnerability, totally. It's like when you have an idea and you birth it to the world, it's like your baby. And I was like, they're going to love the shoes. They're going to hate the shoes. They love me. They hate me.
It's like reeling through.
I was like, what am I doing? Right. So fortunately for me, Eric, who is now one of my very best friends in the world, sent a text back saying how moved they were, how they were bawling their eyes out, and how this was really going to lift Kylie's spirits when she was feeling low. And in our lives, we've all had those moments where something happened, but we're not sure what it was, but we know it was something. And sometimes I need some help unpacking those moments. So I always go to my wife, who's a third grade school teacher in Wadsworth. Yes. So I sent her a text message and I said, Steph, I don't know how, but I want to take our extra Christmas cash up to Akron Children's Hospital. I want to start this thing called Project Outrun, where we let kids design their shoes, their colors, their messages, whatever empowers them down their recovery road. And my wife, true Steph fashion, just said, great. And I'm like, no follow-up? She's like, nope, because she's just so used to, in our home, when we have ideas, we don't let them be ideas. We manifest those into realities, because the line between what could be and what is so small, but it just takes that one step. And that's just what we believe in, what we foster. And so my wife wasn't even like surprised by the idea that I was like, let's go do this thing, just full support. So I thought the very next day we were going to go up to the Children's Hospital, like an after school special, like Steph and Andy go give kids shoes at the holidays. Yeah. Fortunately for me and for everybody, that pediatric hospitals are not that easy to get into. So it took
like
4 months.
Yeah,
it took 4 months of vetting before we had our first night on floor. And in that 4 months, I was able to think through the context.
It slowed you down a little bit to start the process.
What a great...
And just so you know, listening in, obviously you can tell he's a very excitable guy, crazy amounts of it. He walks in and all the kids at Miller South, they all have secret handshakes. They're all like all sorts of craziness going on. Everyone's energy goes up to 10, a Spinal Tap 11. And so Andy's fun to be around, and he just carries Project Outrun so well to help lift and lead these kids to battle through that and to get to that finish line of remission. So keep going.
And that's really the goal. So when we walk into the room that night, I wanted to build the context. So we built Road to Recovery Essentials. So every single one of our kiddos that's a part of our program gets a Project Outrun swag bag. It says Project Outrun Athlete. It says I'm not sick, but my shoes are on the back, which I trademarked.
You should.
They all get really cool shirts that say faster every day. Yeah, you got yours.
Yeah, buddy, here it is. I got mine on today.
They get really cool socks that say Fast Family. They get a finish line to create a goal, because we tell them all that their shoes are free, but they cost a goal. We don't care if it was ate your broccoli, walked your dog, and with the treatment cancer free. And they all get their finisher's medal to celebrate whatever accomplishment or whatever goal that they tie to their shoes in their road to recovery. So we go up to the hospital that day. We do 17 pairs for 17 kids. The hospital loves it. The kids love it. They're like, you've got to do more of this. And I was like, we can't. We're broke.
Right. We use all our money, our extra. We were digging in the couch for pennies, right?
Yeah, do we have any cash around the house? But fortunately for me, the hospital's like, well, you could throw a fundraiser. And I've been to enough fundraisers. I'm like, I could probably figure one out. But we didn't tell Brian, we didn't tell anybody that we were doing this. There were less than a handful of people that knew we were going up to the hospital. I thought this was just going to be something that we did, like, this is going to be fun. We got some extra money. Let's go do a thing. Right.
It's like go pick a kid off the Christmas tree and drop some presents off type thing, right?
But when I saw what it was doing, I realized that it was more. And so that's when I said, great, let's throw a fundraiser. We threw a fundraiser at my local gym. We raised like $15,000 in an afternoon off some silly carnival games, which to me, that felt like all the money in the world.
Oh, yeah. Holy moly. How
Call
many shoes can I get
yeah,
here?
right? And I had a really great Nike contact, and I knew that if I got them something conceptual and not just like with
Right.
it with the ass, something that was actually built, that I could get a lot further with them. So I sent a content video out to them after we'd done like 70 pairs, off like extending an opportunity to partner and be a part of this project. And I'm so happy and proud to say that in 9 years, on April 26th, it's 9 years. We've worked with over 10,000 families all across the
Holy
country,
moly.
seeing
That's a lot
thousands
of
of kids,
shoes.
a lot of shoes, seeing thousands of kids through cancer-free finish lines. What started with one hospital system is now over 400, all 50 states. Money towards pediatric cancer research, awareness, advocacy. We're pushing the envelope of what's possible, and we're very solution based. What I say is every time we do a pair of shoes for a kiddo, not only is it an inspirational empowerment piece, but what we also hope, and we've seen firsthand, is it's an awareness driver, and it allows us a place at the table to talk to the people that are in charge of the solutions and get in
Right.
that door, which has been amazing. So we are just absolutely so proud of the program. But the best part is that that little girl that was a stranger to me is now like a daughter to me, and she is 9 years cancer free, doing
That's
so
awesome.
well.
That's awesome.
So that is Project Outrun. We've got tons of pieces and parts that we've added to our programming that I'll talk about later. But at its core, we are a pediatric cancer empowerment and support organization that utilizes new shoe smiles, medal moments, and finish line feelings to help see kids through cancer-free finish lines.
That's awesome and inspiring. And I love hearing it. I love being around this guy. One thing that I love about you and your energy is some of the brand specific language, the concepts that you have created, such as the not sick, but my shoes are.
Yeah.
What do some of those mean to you? Maybe even some of let's jump into some of those things of like the thought process
Yeah.
of creating them or why it's important that you have those, and what does it mean when like the kids or the families get into the fast family and all that.
Yeah. So I have a branding background. So I always see things as like, how can we 360-degree wrap an idea in a concept, and so that becomes an ecosystem. So
Yeah.
initially, when as soon as I made Kylie's shoes, I was like, oh, I know it's going to be called Project Outrun, and I know it's going to be I'm not sick, but my shoes are. And when I had those two pieces, I was like, oh my goodness, like this is the ecosystem is growing, right? And so then I thought through, okay, we've got these parts and pieces. So that's our Road to Recovery Essentials pack. And what do you need if it's a metaphorical run? What do you need? Well, you need your race shirt. You need a medal. You need, and the personal finish lines I used to make on a Cricut because you couldn't buy. I had these custom.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, I remember like Googling like custom finish lines. And I thought like it'd be so fun in my house to just have like one that like at the end of every day I come home and my wife's like, oh, I made it through another day kind of energy.
Yeah.
But I think it's so important that when you're trying to build something like this, that's, metaphorical, to create the
Right.
metaphorical language, but reinforce it with the physical deliverables so that it
Yeah.
becomes, like we said, an ecosystem of mindset and movement, our medicine. And it gives them those parts and pieces to write their own shoe story and to run their own race. It's just so
Right.
imperative that you build that out because it is sort of meta. It is sort of metaphorical. You have to, but when you start to bring in the physical parts and pieces of it, then families can really buy in and dig into the story,
Right.
into the community. And like you said, the fast family, that's what we call it. Because when I walk in a room at our children's hospitals, especially in Northeast Ohio, where I'm on site, physical presence, every single
Yes.
hospital, every single month, and I meet families, I go from zero to fast family so quickly
Oh yeah.
because we bring in these universal like love language pieces that instantly connect us.
Right.
And the nice thing too with cancer families is everybody's asking them, what can I do? Well, Project Outrun comes in and says, here's what we do, right? Here's how we help. And from this, I promise you, I will connect you to every resource, asset, community, anything. But I'm not even going to ask you what do you need. I'm going to provide you our service. And from that, the connectivity that we make is incredible. So then we can help them on other sides and other parts and pieces of the fight.
Yeah, that's awesome. One moment. I got to grab something here. Give me
No,
5
go ahead.
seconds.
Go ahead. Take your time.
All right. So we hang out with this guy, got swag bag going on here. What are these guys?
Those are our off to the races laces. That's the way that we onboard families. So that's the application portal. We give them shoe lists.
Yeah, look at that. So I'll just showcase those on my my shoes. Yep.
Yeah.
So I love it. And then I have right here one more. Hold
Yeah,
on.
you hang around me, you're gonna get swag.
All right, I should have thought through this, but I didn't. What are these guys here, right?
So those are a pair of shoes from my guy Chase. Those are his shoes, and he picked every color of the Paw Patrol. He wanted every single Paw Patrol character reflected in his shoes, and he got it. And the nice thing about the Nike Dunk is that you can do the shoes don't have to match. So if you notice, the left shoe doesn't match the right
Yeah.
shoe, so he's able to tell so much. The thing I love about the shoe piece is one, it's a controllable. So kids in this world where so many things are out of control, this is something
Yes.
that grounds them and they can control.
Literally, because they put it on their feet and it's
That's
on the
it.
ground.
That's it. I like the idea of like, when I started, it was super metaphorical, but then I came to realize that these treatments, chemotherapies provide have awful side effects of neuropathy and foot drop and Achilles tightness. My leukemia kiddos a lot of times lose the ability to walk.
Right.
And so they need performance footwear. They need good footwear. And,
Right.
we offer 45 different silhouettes and styles of shoe that they can customize. So there's really something for every kiddo. And they're really able to bring their personality out in the shoe.
Right. How much of a placebo effect? I mean, obviously they're just shoes, right? So we have a placebo effect. Andy gives this shoe this figurative fabric and rubber.
Mhm.
The placebo effect alone has to be astronomical on the kids' likeliness to
Yeah.
survive cancer. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah. So anybody that you talk to in modern medicine is going to tell you that movement helps fight cancer. It's
Yep.
scientifically backed, right? That same doctor that deals in the world of real hard statistics is also going to tell you that mindset is imperative.
Yes.
So when you talk about something that accomplishes both goals, right? It improves mindset and it improves movement. Those are two variables that are so imperative to have a great outcome in any cancer diagnosis, be it pediatric or young adult or adult or like it's just those are two pieces that we're able through our programming able to kind of address. And even the community piece, right, that I always like to talk about is that these kids are connected to a bigger community. When they go into hospital, they're comparing shoes. When they're instantly able to have a connection.
Right.
A lot of times when I go into hospital, Brian, I will be greeted by child life and social work, and they say, "We're so happy you're here today because we've got a kiddo that's impossible to crack. We can't get through to him. We want to make sure that he knows that we're on his team." A lot of times it's like those 10, 12, 14-year-old boys who those are my guys.
Yeah, those are.
So, they send me in and I walk them through the program and I do this thing called Fast Facts, and I do it to any kiddo or young adult that I meet where I ask them, it's an acronym, favorite food, animal, color, team, song. And from those 5 questions in conjunction with their sneaker design, all of a sudden you have a very clear representation of who this kiddo is. And then when Child Life comes back in, they come back in with a softer entry of hey,
what just happened in here? We left and came back this is a different kid.
I heard you love AJR. My favorite song is this. You love the color red. Because what you're looking for is connection. Connection. And when you don't have connection, it's harder to treat a patient and it's harder for a patient to receive treatment. So
they feel isolated, right? With a label of cancer, you feel isolated, you feel alone, you are not like others, especially in your age, right? Pediatric cancer isn't the most popular thing. I mean, it's not rare, but it's not just in terms of the general population, right? Obviously, majority of people are over 18, so the likeliness of that is lower. But yeah, you feel like one of few at most.
Yeah, it's less rare. It's like 1 in 275, so it's less rare than you think that it should be.
Yeah, then it should be.
It keeps getting higher, which obviously,
unfortunately,
and
all those stats, I'm sure.
But you don't. Again, one thing that I'm proudest of, and something that I think we can all adopt this mindset is that when sometimes we're just so compartmentalized of we only causes are only our causes when there are causes. Did they hit us directly? Pediatric cancer didn't hit me directly, but that's not to say that it can't still, but it hasn't.
Sure.
But any kiddo's fight is my fight, is your fight, is our fight. And the reason that I think we've been successful is in our storytelling and our presentation of this, to say like,
Yeah.
there are these kids out there that need our help, right? That need a voice. And
Right.
my program does XYZ, and through everyone's belief in that program, we've been able to grow it like crazy. And again, that's provided us a place and a space at the pharmaceutical table, talking to the people conducting trials on some of the worst forms of pediatric cancer, where we're able to support those kids that are in trials, that are fighting and helping revolutionize science. Like, it's incredible, but it's all because people are able to connect to this thing that maybe before they weren't able to. So when you talk about the connection and the isolation, this shows those kids like they're not alone. Like, they have a whole, and when I talk fast family, I don't talk just about the kiddos that we're serving. I talk about the kiddos that we serve, their families, our families that support, the corporations and the business entities that help fund. That is everybody that gives time, talent, treasure, anything that they give to our organization. That's our fast family. And that's the connectivity that you talk about, so that those kids don't feel isolated.
Yep. I'm part of it. I got Levi went and ran at one of your events in the summertime, and
June 20th.
donated money.
June 20th, Faster Everyday 5K, Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. If anybody's around, come see us.
Yep. And you do a number of different, so let's just pause for the fundraising. So you had the sneaker ball, you've got the Faster 5K, you've got a lot of the golf outing. You have, again, they're branded, and they create identity and create connection and create the opportunity to get to learn and understand what pediatric cancer is and how that anyone can help play a part in this. So let's talk about some of the events that you put up.
Yeah, the events are so important. And, it's our second year. I grew this organization as a volunteer for 7 years. Last year, my board came to me and they were like, it's getting way too big. You either have to come on or we have to scale back. And you know me, Brian. I'm like, we're not scaling back.
No.
So I was so proud. Last year, we threw our first ever, we needed an elevated event. So we threw a sneaker ball, and we did it in like a month, and it was successful. But this past year, I had a year to plan. So I was like, oh, we're rolling it out. So it's a really great evening. It's like an upscale evening. It's at House 330 in Akron. And, we sold it out and we raised a good amount of money. But the thing the biggest takeaway for me is that everybody left there feeling extremely connected to our program.
Yes.
Because that's what we try to do. Like, if you come to an Outrun event, you're not going to leave not knowing what we do. Like, not only are you going to know what we do, you're going to be a spokesman for us, and you're going to be repping the gear, and you're going to be talking the language.
That's what I'm doing. Every time we run, I'm repping the gear, right? Levi repped the gear just the other day, and it's in a picture from our bike ride that we took on Monday, and it's on my Instagram.
I love that, because again, with our branding as well, like, we're not cancer ribbon heavy. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but what we want is for you to look at our branding, to read "I'm not sick, but my shoes are," to read "Faster Every Day," to read "Fast Family," and then ask the question, what's that? And then you get an opportunity to actually spend some time, rather than just a cancer ribbon to like, that's a cancer organization. We like to leave that. We want to be conversational with all of our branding. Same thing with our events. Whatever I do in an event, that needs to be a conversation starter. Like, the conversation didn't end when you came to my event or you made a donation, or no. You took that with you. And the next time you talk to a friend of a friend of a friend that maybe has a kiddo that's in the fight, not only are you sending them to us, but you trust us to take care of that kiddo and to love and nurture that family.
Yeah, and let's segue that right into family impact.
Yeah.
How is this affecting the whole family, right? Because we have the kid who's the centerpiece, of course, but then the people around them that are the nuclear support of that person. So let's talk about the family impact that you've had and want to have in this.
Yeah. So what's wonderful about Northeast Ohio is, we run programming in all 50 states. And
real quick too, he is hometown strong, proud of Akron, and does so many things in this area to support the growth. Even our kids, Miller South, he raised a fundraiser and had his son and their band, Shep and the Bucks, shout out Shep and the Bucks, turn up the mic to raise funds and awareness to get Miller South a new mic system, so that today, opening night for Matilda, and is they're able to use it and have a best performance and not have to worry about mics fading in and out, so we can really share and showcase the talent of these kids that they do at Miller South, and it's brilliant. So I just wanted to call you out on that. Like
Yeah.
you
know,
light it up. You're local, your hometown,
yeah,
and just love it. So all right, time
yeah,
back in.
no, you're right, dude. But I love Akron. Like I'm so proud that this has grown from Akron and that we have something that families from all over the country come to for our support and our programming. But the cool thing about this area is that relationships with Akron Children's, University Hospital, Rainbow Babies, and Cleveland Clinic Pediatrics is that I've grown those for 8 years. So they're like family. So when I come on site, it's like a family reunion. And we're able to offer different level of programming because so much of our funding comes from this area where we have a sibling fund, because we believe that families fight together. And we know for a fact that pushing play on that sibling fund creates such an incredible dynamic within the family structure. A lot of times families and moms and dads worry more about the kiddo that's not in treatment than the kiddo that is in treatment, because the kiddo in treatment is getting all of the attention. So we send those kiddos design their own shoes. They get their own swag. So anytime a kiddo locally, which is like the greatest, but sometimes I will walk into rooms and I'll basically be like, okay, Johnny, amazing. I'm so excited for you to design your shoes. By the way, do you have any siblings? And he's like, yes. I'm like, how many? And he's like, 8. And I'm like, well, they're all getting shoes, and I got to get back to fundraising, because but those are the families that need it the most. That probably haven't had new shoes in gosh knows how long.
Unfortunately, you're right.
And so and that is something that I'm working on. We have a big launch coming up with a hospital system out west, that we have a family foundation that is funding the entirety of the programming that we do at Project Outrun, including the sibling fund. So it will be an amazing opportunity to showcase what it takes for us to run Project Outrun primary programming, as well as sibling fund, as well as finish line festivals, as well as all of the things that we do to support pediatric cancer families in the fight.
Yep. And I was at the run event, and this guy throws parties. I mean, literally, there's like blow ups and tents and all sorts of different local organizations that come out, and they're feeding you. And there's some adult beverages that are really tasty. And his son's playing on the stage to support. So it's truly a family event, and you can see the energy and the excitement and the passion that Andy has for Project Outrun and what it all stands for. And certainly it oozes out of him, and that's what I love about Andy. It's just
when you believe in something to your core, everybody's always like, oh, you sell the program so well. I'm like, I'm not selling you anything. Like, I'm telling you what this is, my heart. Like, and this is my this is my calling, my purpose, this is why I wake up in the morning, to continue to fight for these kids and these families. So it's like, yeah, I was like, this lights you up. I'm like, because I've seen what it does. And so it's my obligation to come back and to have conversations like this that can enable all sorts of things that can provide for my family. So it's not a sell job. It's me speaking from my heart.
Oh, totally. You've talked about Kylie, you've talked about some of the siblings and such, but is there another, not that they're all special to you, right?
Yeah.
They're all, every single kid you've ever served is special to you, but is there a transformative story of someone who really had their back against the wall, and through just the process of giving them support and giving them more to live for, in a sense, and push and really strive to get to remission? Do you have a story that stands up?
I have nothing but stories like that.
I know you do. It's like, how do we pick one?
It's okay, because I have, like, it's easy for me to be like, I'm like, which story do I want to, but I think one that was sort of eye-opening in terms of like the small things that we do meaning so much. So Paisley Palmer is a leukemia survivor. She is 5 going on 6, I believe. She, when we joined her team, she was 9 months old. And I called mom, and Jess and I became fast friends. And she told me that her daughter loves shoes. Paisley was 9 months old, loves shoes and loves to run. And I was like, amazing. So We actually we did two pairs of shoes for her because she would wear one and hold the other. So there's like video of her running through the halls of Cincinnati Children's, wearing shoes and holding the
That's
other two. Right. So this
awesome.
kiddo had a really hard journey, and but on the other side of it is the sweetest, kindest, most caring, loving. At Thanksgiving for her school, she had to make a thing that she was thankful for, and she picked Project Outrun, and she said that she wants to run the Project Outrun 5K every year. We've celebrated her birthday at the 5K, but the thing that really stood out to me was that we took pizza to her house one night, and she was probably 4 going on 5 at this point, cancer free, doing great. And Paige was like, Andy, you want to see my room? I was like, sure, Paige, show me your room, because she loves turtles and mushrooms and all these like random purple, all these random things that I know about her, from her shoes and from her fast facts and just from spending time with her. But she has all these like mushroom stuffed animals and turtle stuffed animals. And so we went in her room, and she was like, next to her bed was her like special box, her keepsake box, right? And she's like, that's where I keep all my special things. And I was like, oh, awesome. And she's like, open it. And I was like, okay. So I opened this 4-year-old special box, and in her special box, there's like 5 Project Outrun things, like her medal, like her finish line. She had a rock. I gave her a rock at CureFest in DC. She came to CureFest, and one of my kiddos got rocks at the Smithsonian, and I know Paisley loves the color purple, and there was a really pretty purple rock. And my kiddo gave Paisley the rock, and she kept it, and she took it home, and she put it in her box.
Wow.
And so there are all these keepsakes of our program that to me are small things. Like in the greatest scheme of what we gift children,
Right.
kids, these are the small things. And these are the things that are precious to her, that she, and so that was like, man, to even be able to give a kiddo something that they're like, this goes in my special spot, my keepsake spot, because it has meaning and it's powerful to me. Because kids at that age, like all they know is honesty, right? Like all they know is like there's you get what you get with kids like that. And to be like, what we're putting out there is being seen by these kids exactly how I want them to see it, that these are gifts of love, of support, of hope. And there are things, and so that I think, and Paisley Palmer still is just an absolute force of nature. And I will be with her forever. I will be her wedding or graduate. Like, and I have so many relationships with these kids that are now young adults. I mean, I've been doing this 9 years. So kids that I met when they were 9 or 18, I feel like a teacher sometimes, where I'm like,
right.
You know what I mean? Which is so incredibly cool.
Yeah, it's your brand ambassadors that you're growing and helping to create transformation in their world, but then also in other children's worlds too, for the futures to come. So it's awesome. It's awesome. Wow, lots of energy, Andy. How do we find Project Outrun? How do we jump on the mission, get into the fast family? All of those things.
Follow us on Instagram. ProjectOutrun.org is our website. We've got tons of opportunities for events. We have our 5K June 20th in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. It's not a 5K, it's a festival. We have every single thing you could ever want. It's a family fun day. We invite all of our Outrun athletes and their kiddos to come and run and enjoy the festival for free. So it's a great gather. And just keep an eye out for us. We got a lot of cool things happening in 2026.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm running with them, so I get to see and hear some of the things in the background, and very, very exciting. I thank you so much for jumping on, sharing the story of Project Outrun. You can understand at this point, if you're still listening in, why I chose Andy to come on and be part of my podcast-a-thon outreach to a nonprofit, and to showcase what he has, share his story and the impact that he has, that not only in just my life with just being around him and having lots of energy and all, but what he can do for our communities, for those little kiddos that are really challenged and struggling with isolation, loneliness, and what feels like a death sentence when you hear that C word, and you bring hope, you bring opportunity, awareness, money, just so much that you have been able to be influential in the last 9 years. And imagine the momentum that you're carrying into the next 9.
Just getting going. I look at our org like it's 2 years old because I was like, you know what? I created it and I kind of like put it on autopilot and it grew like crazy. And then I got to really come back and foster it. So this year is a giant year because I was able to
Yeah.
curate tons of opportunities for 26. So I
Yeah.
look forward to being on the podcast in 27 and talking
Yeah.
about all kinds of new stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, we can definitely have you back.
Thanks,
Excellent.
brother.
Well, thank you so much for having
Good
coming
night.
on and sharing your story. So appreciate it, and I'll catch you at Matilda tonight.
Let's do it. Matilda, Miller South. Bye, guys.
Let's
Thank you, Brian.
go. Bye
Later.
bye. Hold on one.